3, live from the lab, Sports on the Hill podcast, the True Radio Network, Redskins Talk, Week 12. Got Sports Journey writer, insider, DujunneaB. Also got Robbie Gross coming to you live, talking Redskins and giving you live look-ins and updates on the Cowboys versus the Islanders game and the Wizards versus the Houston Rockets game. The Capitals are tied up 1-1 right now, killing the penalty with about 13 seconds left in the penalty with 13:48 left in the second period. And right now the Wizards is at a commercial. But I'm not even going to get into it. If you tune into the post game after our Thanksgiving Day game, you already pretty much know how I feel. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in DujunneaB because I know Robbie, he's going to give his take. And he had a couple of quick takes from some NCAA football he wanted to holler at DujunneaB about. So DujunneaB, how you doing tonight, good sir? DujunneaB, you there, man? Did you double mute yourself? We got him on the line. DujunneaB.
I'm here.
Oh, there you go. There we go. All right. Robbie, go ahead and talk to this man about some NCAA football that you had to bring up.
Yeah, for sure. And then we'll get into Redskins talk, and I will then share the post and get out of here. But, DujunneaB, I have to ask, I know that you're a big SEC fan, and this was a later game not everyone got to watch live. Did you watch the Texas A&M game?
Yes, I did.
Yes, okay. Was it the most incredible college football game you've ever watched? Because it was definitely top 5 for me.
I thought it was a phenomenal game. I think if you're a sports fan, period, and a fan of football, I think that's something that, I don't know where it ranks for me. It's definitely top 10. It probably is top 5. I mean, that's phenomenal. I have my feelings about the refs kind of getting involved in that game a little bit and kind of screwing it for LSU a little bit. But overall, with that being said, I mean, geez, 7 overtimes and 70-plus points scored by those teams is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, it was, just for people that don't know, it was a 74-72 win by Texas A&M. My wife is a diehard Aggies fan. It was a deal that we made when we got married that I would root for the Aggies for life. She'll root for the Redskins for life. So it's in our vows. But it was an incredible game. It was definitely the SEC game of the week, year maybe, and it was an incredible win for Jimbo Fisher. I just wanted to give them a shout out because 7 overtimes, and I get that there was a couple of calls that made it play, but just to be able to get into the first overtime, people got to go back and check it out because they had to make 2 20-yard catches and then were able to spike it with 1 second left on the clock and a prayer and a touchdown. And I watched it in bed with a baby and a wife that had fallen asleep, so I'm like trying not to go crazy. But it was quite the amazing matchup, and I highly recommend anyone go check it out. There's an 8-minute highlight clip that ESPN put out for it that doesn't even do it justice. You should go try to find the 30-minute one. But it was the best college game I've seen in the last 10 years. So anyway, I just want to get that out of the way. But it was, in my mind, what I was hoping to see from the Washington Redskins. We didn't see quite a 74-72 matchup in that one. And we fell short because the Redskins didn't quite show up like I had hoped that they would. There was a bit of growing pains under Colt McCoy, which was kind of to be expected when you only have 4 days to kind of set yourself up for a divisional showdown. And Dallas had remembered that we beat them, especially Ezekiel Elliott. You kind of knew that you were going to get his best game, and they weren't able to stop him like they were. And the Redskins just didn't. I guess they couldn't have the answer to the run game quite like they did in the first game in Washington. So it was a frustrating matchup for sure. I enjoyed Thanksgiving anyway in spite of them, but it definitely put a little bit of a damper on the day because I know there's way too many Cowboys fans. They were hooting and hollering afterwards. But a quick scoring update, just like happened last week while I'm on the Redskins show, the Capitals were able to score to make it 2-1 with 12:02. So I got to do these opening monologues more often because they seem to score during them. But out. His third goal of the season. But I'll let you guys sort of chop it up a bit. But I was disappointed, but hopefully they're able to get a big rebound win against the Eagles. And just to give people a quick reminder, a pregame Monday Night Football show next week as well. So we'll break that game down more. But I'm looking forward to hearing how you and CP3, DujunneaB, that is, how you guys are able to break this game down, because there was moments where I liked where I saw where we were going, but there were moments where it was frustrating that Jay Gruden obviously didn't coach a good enough game, and we fell a little bit short. But I'll go share the post a little bit and listen to what you guys have to say about it.
Well, oh, my brother. I'm going to let you break down the technical aspects. I'm going to kind of chime in and try to, guess I'm going to go back to what I said in my post game, and I'm going to let you break down the X's and O's of it, because to me, coming out throwing the ball 6 times in a row with a backup quarterback, a backup offensive line that hadn't had a chance to practice together throughout the short week against that front 7. Then you give your running back the ball 12 times throughout the whole game. You don't utilize the 2 and 3 tight end set on a consistent basis to try to help out your linemen who are getting beat by the front 7 and then being aggressive. You're calling the same plays. You're not setting your plays up. You have no strategy and no rhyme or reason why you're calling some of these plays. And then you have the audacity to say you didn't give your team a chance by throwing the ball on the first 6 plays, when we know that that is the total opposite of what you should do when you have a backup line and a backup quarterback that haven't had a chance to practice in a short work week. Now, DujunneaB, you know how I feel about you. Now, I've tried to be optimistic. I've tried to think that he would, finally see the light. But after this game, I have to ask you honestly, do you have any faith that this man will ever see the light and figure out that football 101 works for a reason, that you have to run the ball to open up the pass, that you can't do it the way he's trying to do it with the team that we have?
Honestly, I can't even answer that. My thing, I don't know. Because I can tell you what I believe he did see. When he got called McCoy, he was like a kid on Christmas. He was saucer-eyed and just knew that because he had a guy that was here when Seth Player was here, and the offense ran very well with Seth Player, that he thought that he was just going to come out and play sandlot football and toss it all over the yard because, hey, I got a guy that's just like Seth Player that we had here before he went to somewhere else to collect a big check. So I can tell you that is a problem. It showed on the first drive. The 3 idiots. Look, if you go back and watch a lot of the games that the Redskins have not scored on their first drive, it is because they come out and pass on the first drive on every play, and more than likely have gone 3 and out on those plays. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 drives where they've driven down the field in the first drive and scored a touchdown or a field goal, and with that has been a correlation of run and pass that they've done a really good job of balancing in that time. But as far as him getting the point, I'm not sure of that. But it's happened several times this year, so you would think that I can understand it with Alex, still understanding the offense, and I'm not going to say I understand it with Cole, because again, I think Robbie made it clear, and it's obvious to anybody who understands football. I don't know if anybody understands what a walkthrough is, but a walkthrough is pretty much self-explanatory. there was no snaps taken by Colt McCoy last week before that game. Walkthrough is a walkthrough. It's a simulation, very slow simulation to make sure people understand where they are positioned in relation to the play. But there is no snaps like practice type snaps being taken during that time. So to come out and to toss it around the way he did, again, Colt played well in that Houston game, but again, on the road, divisional game, first place on the line, hostile environment, probably not the best choice, to come out and do that. So I don't know if you'll ever learn that. I guess one can only hope.
Yeah, that's all we can do at this point. Don wants to know about the defense. We'll definitely get into the defense when we go a little more deeper into it, because you know I got something to say about the defense. But
hey, I've got a lot of things that got a lot of tape that I looked at, a lot of plays that I looked at, and it's very simple. So we'll get there. Yeah.
Great. Because I know you got a chance to check it out. I didn't get a chance to check out any extra tape this week. But getting back to the offense, I was, like I said, very discouraged with the play calls, with the, he still is using the wide receiver with reverse action and not giving Trey Quinn the ball. There were several times he did it when Trey was wide open. He's doing his team no service with that. He isn't setting his plays up. But, Colt with the 3 interceptions didn't help. But why are you having this man throw the ball like he's throwing it when you have your game, your game breakers aren't even on the field? Chris Thompson, Jamison Crowder, Richards is out for the season. So you're trying to do things with players that, even if they do make the spectacular play, it really isn't going to, make an explosive play in this high risk, low reward. And if it does come up, then yeah, okay, cool. But if it doesn't, it's sort of turnovers. So I'm hoping that with the extra time to practice, with hopefully Crowder and Thompson hopefully coming back, that Colt will have more tools in the toolbox, so to speak, and won't have to try to force the ball down the field, and he can throw the short passes, the comfortable passes, and let the playmakers make plays in space. And, then things will hopefully fall into place, is my hope. What do you say about that, DujunneaB?
I'm going to start with Colt, and it may not be popular with everyone. I'm really not going to blame, 3 turnovers. Yes, I'll break them down for you. At first, the Trey Quinn thing, I thought it was a back shoulder. It does look like, after watching the coach's tape from a couple angles, it does look like that was supposed to turn upfield. I don't know whether Quinn was supposed to come inside. He thought that's where he was going to be. And maybe he just didn't have enough on the football, but that is an interception and a throw he'd probably like to have back. The second one, I don't know if I can remember that one. The second one was definitely on him. It was a bad throw in the traffic and forcing it. Not a good look. And the third one is not on him. Really should have been a PI or a defensive holding call. He threw that ball in that direction, expecting the call. You see a lot of guys do that, whether it's Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. They will throw a Ben Roethlisberger. They're going to throw the ball in that direction, knowing that there is a potential for a flag there, because it's obvious, and then they're bringing attention to it by throwing the ball in that direction, so they can't get the call. So I'm not going to blame him for that, especially the third one. He had 2 on the day. I understand he's trying to make some things happen, trying to take advantage of some plays. He got to definitely protect the football and do a better job, but I really don't think Colt was his proprietary problem as far as them losing the football game. And I'm going to throw some numbers at you here, and it is, first of all, I'm a little irritated in the press conference, and again today, we're talking about they were behind and had to abandon the run. Okay, can't say the words BS on this show, but you know exactly what I'm talking about there.
Yeah.
First of all, 5 total runs for a total of 8 rushes in the first half. They had 16 passing plays in the first half. Okay? On the day they had 20 rushing attempts, combined rushing attempts, and AP only had like 12 of those. My biggest problem with the whole thing, right out the gate, is coming out and passing the way that they did against a team that likes to get downhill. A couple of AP's runs, they were outside runs, they were not zone runs, they were more of a sweep type run. Not a good selection and not a good call when this is a team. I don't know how many times I have to say this about the Cowboys front seven. They get down very quickly, get downhill very quickly, they call backs very quickly, and it's very hard to run outside without setting it up. So it would behoove them to have run in between A gaps, B gaps, right downhill, and pound them. That way you kind of soften them up a little bit. I thought they waited way too long to use the pre-miss. You saw when he was in there, he provided a spark, he made some plays while in there. I don't think they did a good job of utilizing him. And then you had a couple plays to Arden Davis, you had a couple plays to Jordan Reed. You got to find a way to continue to keep that kind of stuff going. But it's about balance. You read the keys to the game. It was very simple for me this week, and balance was one of them. And because you got a guy that can throw it and can open the offense up for you, doesn't give you a license to go out there and toss it all around the yard like we're playing sandlot football here, just tossing it around, slinging it all over the yard. It's not really the smart thing, and his offense just simply isn't built that way. But the numbers speak for itself in the first half. Let's remember that the score was 10-7. Okay, so they were very much in this ball game. So to only have a total of 8 runs in the first half, unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. And it really, once again, puts this offense at a disadvantage because they don't do well when their basically main thing is passing the football, which is requiring them to drop back a lot. And that's not good. When they're punching guys in the mouth, they seem to pass block and do pass protection a lot better than coming out of the gate doing it in reverse, passing the ball a lot. So definitely not the best game plan. And again, like I said before, I think he thought he had Colt. And don't get me wrong, the guy can get the job done. He's very well capable of throwing the football and making the right throws. It's just that's not his offensive formula. It's not hard people. Football's very simple. Tackle and block people.
It's utterly ridiculous, like you said. It's documented, it's shown, and we've seen it through the season. So, like I said, I'm pretty much tired of talking about it. I'm going to call him out every time I get a chance because it's blatant. And the fact that he gives these dumb answers at the press conference in this local sports media don't hold him to the fire is beyond me. But like I said, if I get in that room,
I thought they did a good job today. That's how they got that. That's how they got that answer to that question.
Yeah.
That's not an acceptable answer, though. And he was asking after the game about it. He gave that answer, talking about they were behind early. Well, the statistics don't lie. It was 10-7 at the half, bro.
Yeah,
and you rush the ball any time in the first half. I don't want to hear that crap. I tweeted it out that on Thursday, and I also tweeted today the same nonsense when he comes out today and says that, Colt will hopefully do better and this and that. Well, you didn't help the guy, okay? And you didn't help the offense at all. And you come out and you say that, but I mean, you are the one that's at the helm that makes these calls.
Exactly.
You're the one that's calling the plays. It's your responsibility to see to it that this happens. So to come out and make that statement, that's great. Sounds good.
Yeah,
They all want Colt to play better.
yeah, but it's not doing
You
that.
got to give him something to work with.
You got to put him in a position to win. You have to put it. Yeah.
Right. The bottom line is this formula is simple. It's the old school formula, and a lot of people may not like it, but you don't have the team to be throwing it all over the yard like the Chiefs, the Patriots. You can't do that. If you run the football and you pass out of that, you would have helped coach tremendously to make plays like the play we saw with Vernon Davis down the field, to happen more often if you had run the football and made a concerted effort to do so.
Exactly.
So don't sit up here and say, oh, this person that. No, my friend, it's you.
Yeah.
You're the one making the call, and the numbers don't lie when it comes down to run-pass ratio. You screwed the pooch, my friend.
I've been saying it for the last 3 seasons. That's why I don't even feel like saying it anymore. I've gotten in debates with people about it. And you have to set the team up for success. You have to, have some strategy, not just try to, out-throw the other team or think you can do this or do that. And it's mind-numbing. It's mind-numbing talking. He has no strategy. Yeah, he had exactly that, and I'm tired of it. Now let's get to the defense. Don, the question of defense. Defense played great in the first half. They got tired. They were on the field for too long because the team was going 3, and now the offense was ineffective. So the defense has been playing lights out most of the season. Yes, were there blown coverage in the second half. Yes, were there missed assignments. Yes, there was. But when the team was getting, the Cowboys off the field, the offense couldn't do anything. And your defense can only stay on the field for so long at that pace with that offensive line, with, a running back of that caliber, pounding on them, just like we said our offensive line should do to the other team. But we see it on a week in and week out basis. When this team loses, that's what the other team does. And, folks can fault the defense and blame the defense and, try to yell at Swearinger, had some, candid comments after the game, which I have no problem with. But, the offense has to start taking some reins in these games. The defense has been carrying the team the whole season, and you can't keep expecting that week in and week out. I mean, you can, and the defense can rise to it, but this defense isn't to that caliber yet where they can carry the team for a whole season. They can carry the team for most of the season, but the offense has to pick up some slack and start doing some things to put some points on the board, especially when this team is getting turnovers and giving them a short field, and they're still only getting field goals out of it.
Right. I'm going to say that they weren't 100% the problem. They did not live up to their end of the bargain, though. And I get it. They were on the field for 33 minutes, and I get that. But I'm going to start with the first drive in the first quarter. The countless times, especially the 16-yard run, for the touchdown on Ezekiel Elliott. And this is something that I've been seeing over the last 3 weeks. If you run the keys to the game, they've given up until Thursday. They had given up 240 yards. Now, I made it clear that a lot of the 240 yards, as far as the rushing goes, is per game plan a lot of times because they're keeping everything in front of them. They don't want to get beat deep. But when you look at the tape, and I see guys like Mason Foster, Preston Smith, completely, and I would use that 16-yard run as an example. So it looks like on the outside there is stunts between Mason Foster and Preston Smith. And now Preston Smith gets bottled up. Well, Mason goes completely out. So he takes the pass. He goes all the way around Bruce Smith style to try to go around where Preston Smith is. First of all, that's automatically horrific for yourself. Now, I'm not just blaming the linebackers because I see a lot of stuff on the defensive line as well. Especially, and it's been over the last couple of weeks, but especially in this Dallas game, you have Deron Payne. He goes inside. Well, he gets bottled up in the wash, which I think it's Ionitis, and they all get bunched over, and I believe it's Gary. They all get bunched over if you're looking at it from that perspective to the right side of the offensive line. Mason vacating the gap, it's an open field. He bounces it right, and initially it looked like he's going to run inside. Well, he bounces it outside. Anybody who understands defense, what's your outside guy's responsibility? Well, he's the only contained to force it back inside. Okay, he did go inside. But now you have a linebacker who's vacated it, he's all up Bruce Smith style, and he's all the way up the field, and it leaves Zeke and Ha-Ha Nick, who is, Ha-Ha is also shaded over to the right. If you're standing and you're Dak Prescott as the quarterback, he's also to the right. So it's a clean lane to the end zone. And that's happening a lot, whether it's the 7-yard run to the 16-yard run. We have found it is oftentimes where guys are either not maintaining the gap where they're supposed to be, and they're vacating it way too early, or they're lazy and they're trying to do too much, and it's vacated, so it opens up that lane, and next thing you know, they're in the second game. Oftentimes, there was a play with Fabian and Josh Harvey Clemens. Outside runs with Zeke, he bounces it back. He bounces it outside because those guys are crashing in. They're the last line of defense. Their job is to keep containing the outside and force it back inside to the linebackers. No, they crash inside, get caught up in the wash, and what does Zeke do? Any good running back bounces it outside, and now you got the corner out there on his own. You got Ha-Ha has to come from try to make a tackle, and you hope that your corner can get loose. Who is Dunbar, who is still playing hurt, and he's unable to do so. He got a 7-yard run, 8-yard run, 11-yard run, whatever it is. So, yes, they're on the field a lot, but there's a lot of mental mistakes here, and it's not just with the linebackers, and I'm using the linebackers as an example, but there's a lot of times where the defensive line is not where they need to be. They're getting bunched up. They're getting pushed out of the way. They're allowing themselves to be pushed out of the play by not maintaining their responsibilities. And now you're having these big plays. Number 2, we talked about it earlier, how simple football is, blocking and tackling. This team isn't tackling. Now, I hear people and I hear, commentators about the rules. I don't give a crap about the rules. If it makes a tackle, like, you shouldn't be out there trying to blow people up anyway. Because you know how you try to blow people up, you usually get blown up and they end up taking it to the house or they end up taking it for 10, 15 more yards. Make the tackle. I don't care how you get it to the ground, get it to the ground. And they're not doing that. Guys are slipping tackles. The second touchdown to Cooper. Fabian was right there. He doesn't make the tackle. It's that simple. In the first touchdown that he gets, Dunbar slipped. I'm sorry, he does slip, and he's not 100% healthy, guys. So my second thing is, why does Greg Minucci have them covering him anyway? Josh Norman was doing a pretty decent job. He got a couple balls called on him, but he's done a pretty decent job.
Hey, DujunneaB, we got a quick score, and I had to cut you off. We got a quick score update with Robbie. I got to switch phones. I'm having some phone issues right here. I'm about to switch up real quick and let Robbie get to this break. And let me switch up real quick. Pardon the interruptions, folks. Once again, technical difficulties. Phone down on me.
Please enter your home PIN. When finished, press the pound key.
It's the radio line.
To start your show now, press 1.
Sometimes you can't do nothing
Since it
about it.
appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
1-75 will be with 8 minutes left in the 8 minutes left in the third quarter. So Wizards again have taken a 6-point lead. They were definitely behind for a bit, and they've come out really strong, giving up 42 points in the first quarter. So that's been an exciting, and the Caps are still up at 2-1 at the Island. And I've been sitting here with Zach watching, and we're seeing that you guys break all of that great medical knowledge down. It's been really fascinating to listen to both of your takes on how the offense, and defense has struggled, and I know you'll continue to break down a lot more over the last 20 minutes of the show. But I want to thank you both. I'm going to sign off and watch Jack for a little bit, and hopefully we'll continue to win. Again, 2-1 going into the third period, and the Wizards are up 83-79 over the Houston Rockets at home, 7 minutes left in the third quarter. So it's been a fun and exciting night, and I look forward to talking to both of you guys next week for our Monday Night Football pregame show.
All right, Robbie, appreciate the scoring update. I got things back up and running, but I know my backup phone sometimes fading in and out, so we're going to get ready to get into the upcoming matchup with the Eagles on Monday night. Like I said, we're going to do a pregame before the show, and I'm going to do my breakdown on Thursday night as always. So we're not going to get too deep into it. But, dude, I'm going to let you wrap up what you were breaking down from this previous game, and then let's get into some Eagles talk, and we can get out of here tonight.
What I was just saying is it's just simple, guys. I know they were out there a bit, but they didn't hold it there into the mark. And I thought what DJ Squares said was correct. It's things that are fixable, though. It's tackling, and I've been talking about this for a week. This is a problem that just showed up in the Dallas game. It just showed up in the Houston game, in the game before that. Guys are just either they're trying to do too much, they're just not maintaining the proper gap responsibility when the whole front seven is responsible for that. And guys aren't tackling. If they can get back to that, they can be that dominant defense they were earlier in the season. And they with the rotation they have, it shouldn't be a problem. And of course, it'd be nice for the offense to capitalize on some of the 3 and outs that they have produced, but that they have to tackle better. And they have to do a better job of being and understanding where they are within the confines of play. And if they can do that, they can have success in front of them. That's why they're 6-5. So it's unfortunate that they couldn't capitalize in the sweep series, but at the end of the day, they're still in this thing. It's a lot of football to be played, and the teams that they got ahead of them are extremely winnable teams. They're not that good.
Exactly. With the Eagles, they're going through a rash of injuries on the defense like this team went through last year. The offense hasn't been coming the same. This team definitely, with the comments that Swearinger made, they definitely have something to aspire to this week against this Philly team who they got swept against last year on their way to the Super Bowl championship. And Philly is on the, I ain't going to say downfall, but on the downswing this year. And this is the perfect opportunity for this team to put their foot on the opponent's throat that they should be able to and be able to win this game as long as they play Redskins football and run the ball. And the defense, I feel, will, step up and give a full 4 quarters instead of, the half effort, as long as the offense can give them some type of support and not leave them on the field for over 30 minutes.
Right.
So what do you see from this Philadelphia team that's different from the team from last year?
They're making a lot of mistakes. Carson doesn't seem to be in rhythm with the guys on the field. They don't have the running game that they had before with J.J. They didn't have it, not having scored. They're unable to do that in the passing game, and some of that is due to separation, but some of that's also due to the fact that they're unable to protect long enough. And it seems like Carson is not as interested as he was before the injury running. He's not breaking the pocket nearly as much, and he is definitely not looking to run in most instances when the pocket breaks down. They're turning the football over. Basically, they're not as formidable as they once were. Their secondary was already questionable, and now when you got most of your starters out, and you got guys who are, some of them are backup wide receivers out there playing. They're getting butchered. They had no business winning that game this past weekend. To be honest with you, but again, we know all about the 2018 Giants. And somewhere in between that game, they realized they were the 2018 Giants, and it wasn't just them. They also had a coaching problem too. They got away from the run game and Saquon Barkley and started throwing it all over the field, and basically put the game right back in Philly's hands. You know, it's unfortunate. It's really weird, but it's almost like they're having a Super Bowl hangover. But I think the injuries have caught up, you know, to them, not just on defense, but with, you know, Carson Wentz having the injury coming in a little later, and, you know, they're just not having the rhythm and sync as much as they are. And it starts with the running game. They really don't have a guy that they can lean on and run the ball. I mean, you know, they did okay, but they can't do that consistently this year, and that's hurt them a lot. And that's hurt their passing game a lot as well. So, you know, they're a team that is struggling big time. And they were just fortunate enough to come away with the win this past Sunday.
Valid points. Mark Stewart says if Jay and Greg continue with the same scheme, he would only win maybe 3 more games. There's no discipline on this team. I really can't say there's no discipline. I say there's some lapses when folks are trying to make plays. When you have constantly one side of the ball, you know, carrying it, and another side not really carrying it, players are they're human. So they want to try to do more to try to say, well, we got to get points on the board. The defense is saying we got to score because the offense can't. And then you have folks trying to do things outside of their means, like DujunneaB was talking about, with Mason Foster going inside instead of staying gap discipline and staying outside and playing his role. Even if the man comes there, you still stay there, not trying to make a play inside the hole when you know you're not supposed to be there. So in that aspect, yeah, there has been some lapse in discipline, but it comes from, you know, trying to do too much. That's why they say keep it simple, know your role, play your role, and everything else will fall into place. And that's what this team's doing, you know, early in the season. And like DujunneaB said, hopefully they can get back to that and make this team, you know, defense top, you know, look top 10 and not just be ranked top 10. And Mark Moore wanted to know, is Sproles going to be back this game, DujunneaB, or is he still out?
I think he's still out. I don't foresee him coming back at all. And I know Chris Thompson today, and he seems to be feeling better. He was practicing today. So was Trent Williams was practicing today. The whole hospital thing was a cautionary thing. He was hitting the chest. So they just wanted to make sure it wasn't anything internally. Definitely wanted, you know, you don't want to do your due diligence with that kind of stuff because that's nothing to play with. You know, it wasn't anything serious. It wasn't a cautionary thing. They both were in practice. So we'll see if, you know, through practice and all, if Chris can give it a go. If he doesn't give it a go this week, I'm pretty sure in the next week he'll probably be able to give it a go. But we'll see. Not sure about Crowder either. But yeah, I wouldn't foresee Sproles being back at all. I don't know if he comes back this season.
Yeah, I know there was reports he was supposed to try to go a couple of days ago, and he re-injured himself or something. So yeah, he might be out for the rest of the season. What is Crowder's injury? I've never really got a chance to check into what his injury and why he's been out so long.
I think it's an ankle injury.
Must be a high ankle sprain. Yeah, them high ankle sprain. Yeah, if it's a high ankle sprain, those always take a long time to heal. They say those are worse, you know, than breaking your ankle, because, you know, breaking your ankle, you got time to before it to come back. But with a high ankle sprain, for some reason, it takes so long for it to heal. And then when you go out there and try to test it and then end up tweaking it again, it just puts you out longer.
And you know, I think I really give Trey Quinn a lot of credit. I know the guy played very well. And they have to just do better in scheming things for him for plays that he can be successful. And the one play wasn't his fault. That was more I guess Cole thought he was going to do one thing and he did another, or he was just a bad throw. But Trey did an excellent job, and he had some big plays on special teams. That one to put it inside for them to be able to score was huge in that game. So I really like what Trey Quinn has done so far in his first
Yeah, I definitely went and checked out his tape when you brought him up when they drafted him, and I liked him off the break from looking at his tape because he reminds me of the Wes Welker, Julian Edelman type. You know, he's not fast, he's quick, he's shifty, he can make people miss in space, and this team desperately needs that, especially with Crowder and Thompson and now Richardson gone for the season. You know, this offense doesn't have anybody that can make people miss in space for real, except for Bibbs, and like we said, he didn't really get into the game until it was too late. And then sometimes he has a lack of patience with certain, with the screen game, which, kind of, shoots itself in the foot, which is, I don't understand why Jay has totally gone away from the screen game when it's been effective, but it's like he's like all or nothing, even though he's calling it too many times and being predictable, or he's not calling it all when there's times when he should. When you see the defense in certain formations get ready to pin their ears back, a well-timed screen, we've seen what it does to our defense. So why not do it to the other team when you see what they're about to do? That's the thing that pisses me off about Jay and has me, scratching my head wondering why the folks like Doug Williams or the folks that's in the building that know football ain't smacking them with a playbook and saying, look, dude, you know what it takes to win. Stop doing this dumb stuff and let's do what's winning. When we win the games, we see how it works. We run the ball, we play action it, we time of possession, and play solid defense. It's not that simple. It's not rocket science. It's football. It's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you gotta let this work through that too. I mean, I agree. He's not really good at being patient, allowing blocks to set up. But there's times he got the ball in that game, he made plays.
Yeah.
And had some real positive plays. And you gotta keep it. You gotta work through. The only way you work through that is by allowing him to get the ball. So they just, I constantly, we constantly talk about what they don't have, but they have guys that can make plays. You guys just put them in position to make plays. Coach is a pass for not, guy didn't have any kind of practice time with those guys. And then secondly, like you said, you're running the football, and coach is that's not play action. He's a play action king. He can do that with team. And you saw that with that early game. If you're doing that with Jameis, with Josh Dobbs playing the way that he's playing, you got Jordan Reed, you got the sleeper in Quinn. You're able to run the football and do some play action wise. They're able to hit some pretty big plays. Josh Dobbs needs a huge catch for this team. It has been over the past several weeks, steadily improving. So you just have to do a better job and understand what your personnel is and what you do best, and attack it that way. I don't care. I don't mind throwing the football. That's not what I'm saying. But you have to understand you can't be in a game where a knee-jerk team is touching the ball 12 times. Not a physical runner like that. And when those guys even when they're physical, he does something to that offensive line. And then when you have that going on, a team like Dallas has to respect it. So it slows down that pass rush, and the next thing you know, you're popping things over the top against the secondary that they're really not that good at the secondary. Their front seven makes the next. And that's credit to Rob Marinelli, and he's gone about handling the defense. And I've said it time and time again, that guy is the most out of nothing that I've ever seen out of a coach. He deserves a lot of credit for the quality of play that defense has played. But that doesn't mean that this offense isn't taking advantage of it. They were there for the taking. They've been there for the taking all year. And you're going to see it on Thursday night when this thing guts them up.
Yeah, we talked about it over and over to an exhausting extent. Mark Stewart, first Mark Moore, he says it seems like the front office doesn't want to step on anyone's toes. I don't know what it is, Mark. I can't tell you. Don giving a quick update from the game. Tennessee is up 10-7 on Houston. And Mark Stewart said this is week 12, and we're still talking about how this team and Jay are still trying to figure out what plays works for this team. High school teams are ahead of team in the offense, and it pisses you off week in and week out. Excuses on why they can't get it going. Yeah, that's where I am also, Mark. I really can't. I really can't. I mean, it's certain things you do to put your team in positions to win when you know their strengths and know their weaknesses. You don't continue to go to their weakness and say, we're going to make this work somehow. You go with what works. And then when he does that, I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe he's got it. But then the next drive, he'll come out and start throwing the ball again. I'm like, come on, dude. You just saw you went on a 10-play, 70-yard drive that looked great. And then you come out and do the total opposite the next drive when you can try to get the lead in the game or, change the whole momentum of the game. It's frustrating as hell. I feel your pain, Mark. I feel your pain.
Yeah, he's right about that. I can't blame the offensive line and the lack of players on it because I feel like the offensive line played phenomenal with all the combinations that they have. Cooper's come in and if you watch that guy on film, just isolate and just watch Cooper play, the guy is physical. And he doesn't, there's not a way to motion. Like, if he had nobody to block, he would find somebody to block and blow them up. It was insane. Like, his first game in, when he started, it was just insane to watch him. There were times that there was nobody, he had no guy, and he was going over to his partner, to the center and blowing that guy up, or finding the guy to blow up. I mean, he was really balling. If you watch that film, they used him to film a lot more. He used to run. Dude is physical when he gets out there. And blows guys up. I said, sitting here and use the offensive line, the injuries as an excuse. They haven't played fairly well. Through the circumstances. And I thought they have improved over the last couple of weeks as well. So now, as you alluded to, we're still talking about this playing stuff. But it's sad, but it's true. It's about putting the offense in position for them to be successful. And understanding what your identity is and stop making that bold because I have Colt McCoy now. I can go back to what I was doing 2 years ago or a year ago. And that's just not all around. This is not the same team. So maybe if you had a Crowder and Thompson in there, maybe you can do a little more of that. But not with the wide receivers you have in there, not with the makeup of the team. It's just not a smart look to do that. And we can only hope that getting embarrassed on Thursday night and at times out-coached by a coach that is trash, Trim and Linehan, trash, as a Dallas fan, they don't like him either. And to get out smart and outplayed like that, playing, and they played simple football, running it and throwing it, and they ran the football very well, something they probably won't do on Thursday night. They usually get away from it as well. It's kind of embarrassing. So we'll see. But I can't sit here and say they don't learn. Like you said, Carol, we've been talking about this for weeks, and I think we've asked ourselves this question over and over again, and he still hasn't learned at all.
Yeah, it's sad to say, but we're going to go ahead and end it on that note. Like I said, we got the show Wednesday on Listen Vision. Check it out, 9 o'clock, talking sports, politics, fashion, music. We have our show Thursday, but I'll be doing Facebook Live, I believe, this week. Keep me posted. I got so many shows scheduled out here. We'll break down the upcoming battle versus the Eagles, and we'll have our pregame for Monday Night Football. Appreciate everybody tuning in, chiming in. Phone's getting low, having some technical difficulties. I got to get a new phone because the battery died too quick. DujunneaB, as always, appreciate your time. Let the folks know what you're working on this week before you get out of here, get ready for this next upcoming game.
Hey, man, working on some keys. Going to be looking at a few things, seeing what they can do better. You can catch everything at SportsOTHP. If you want to chat at me on the Twitter, you can hit me up. NotBland21. Always love talking shop with you guys. It's NotBland21 on everything, Facebook as well. So look me
90 seconds.
You guys are always great to interact with on social media. So, yep, that's what we got coming up, man.
All right, appreciate it as always. We'll be on the lookout for those articles, and we'll make sure we get them out there for the folks to check them out. I know y'all heard the 90-second countdown, so I'm going to go ahead and end this Facebook Live feed now. Appreciate everybody tuning in and chiming in. Sorry I didn't get to more of y'all questions. We sort of technical difficulties we was having, so next week, next show, tune in. We'll definitely break it down. DujunneaB, you have a good night. I'm going to end this feed, and get ready to get out of here. All right, man, take it easy. And I'm ending that feed right now.